Welcome to Diplomacy Today, a podcast series by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In this series, we invite former diplomats, academics, government officials, and opinion makers. And we discuss with them Pakistan's foreign policy, its relations with countries around the world, and important developments that take place around us. This is Mumtaz Zahra Balot, spokesperson, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And today, we will be discussing Shanghai Cooperation Organization and Pakistan's position and relationship with the organization. And I have a special guest with us today, Ambassador Babar Amin, who was Pakistan's first national coordinator for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Ambassador, welcome to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and joining us at this forum.
Thank you very much.
Ambassador Babar Amin, you had a 33-year-long career in the Foreign Service of Pakistan. You were Pakistan's ambassador to Norway. You were High Commissioner to Australia. You served as Pakistan's Consul General to Guangzhou, China, and as Deputy High Commissioner to New Delhi. So you have a very diverse and rich experience in diplomacy. Another important position that you held was that you were first national coordinator of Pakistan for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. In 2017, Pakistan became a permanent member. So what were the considerations and the priorities that made Pakistan decide to join this organization as a permanent member? Can you share with us, please?
Geographically, politically, strategically, we are very much part of SCO, and our interest would always lie in this organization because we are neighboring to China and Central Asian countries. We have historical and cultural as well as socio-economic links with the members of SCO. And even before we had become members, we had even connectivity agreements with China and 3 Central Asian countries at that time. So it was quite natural for us to become a member and to seek membership of SCO.
Okay, so Pakistan and India were invited together to join SCO in 2017, and the accession talks began in 2015. At that time, you were Director General, China and SCO at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and you took the lead in negotiating the accession talks. So can you share with us what were the challenges and considerations while we were negotiating the accession terms with SCO?
Yeah, the first document that we negotiated was the Memorandum of Obligations, because this was the first time that the founding members and SCO was going to admit some new members. So they wanted to make sure that the new members take certain obligations and give certain assurances that, if they become members, what things they would adhere. And basically, one of the important point in that was that we must accede to all the SCO documents, treaties, agreements, conventions, protocols that the members had agreed amongst themselves before our becoming members. Then there were issues such as, budgetary contribution by the new members, as well as the representation that we would get in the organs of SCO, such as the SCO Secretariat in Beijing and the executive committees of regional anti-terror structure, RATS in Tashkent.
Now that Pakistan has been a member for some years, do you think it was a positive direction for Pakistan and it was a good decision in retrospect? And what are the advantages do you think we have found becoming member of this organization?
Yeah, certainly. I believe that there was never any doubt in anybody's mind in Pakistan, whether it was at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the political leadership, or even think tank, academia, and common people, that SCO is one organization where Pakistan belongs, and I think it was the right decision and at the right time, and we have certainly benefited from its membership in the sense that our while we have benefited from the participation in organizational work and organizational common initiatives, at the same time, I believe that we have greatly benefited from significant or marked improvement in our relations with the other member states, especially this Russian Federation as well as with the Central Asian countries. And China has always been our all-weather friend, and this friendship has been upgraded to all-weather strategic cooperative partnership. So while we benefit from the membership, at the same time, not only at the level of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but SCO is an all-encompassing organization where meetings are held in every field, in socio-economic, health sector, education, climate change. So all our interlocutors from these areas meet their counterparts from the other member countries, and there is a good rapport that they develop with each other. So this is, I think, a great improvement in our bilateral relations that we have witnessed.
So you mentioned our colleagues in other ministries developing linkages with their counterparts in other SCO member countries. This must have taken a long time for the different agencies in the government of Pakistan to understand the SCO mechanics and mechanisms. And you were the first national coordinator of Pakistan for SCO, as I mentioned before. So it must have been challenging to introduce the concept of SCO to other government departments. So can you share with us the challenges of interagency coordination and the buy-in that you needed from these different departments in pursuing our objectives in SCO?
Yes, certainly. SCO is an organization which was not very well known in Pakistan, even though there was a lot of interest in it. But how the organization works, what are the areas of cooperation, and what is the mood and mechanics of the organization, how it moves forward. All these things were not familiar to most of the Pakistani organizations, ministries, and line organizations. And it was quite a challenge for us. And what we did was that, first of all, the challenge that we were faced was that we had to accede to 36 SCO documents, which were already existing between the SCO member states. So only 4 or 5 of these related to Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The others were related to all other ministries. For example, Ministry of Interior had 6-7 documents, treaties, and agreements related to them. Similarly, economic ministries, social sector area ministries had agreements to their effect. And we were finding it challenging because there were certain timelines within which we had to accede to this. Because if we were unable to accede within that timeline, then our membership would have been delayed at least to another year. So what we did was that we held briefing sessions for the ministries, and we actually studied the agreements and documents related to those particular ministries, and made presentations and points, and highlighted what was beneficial in our view for Pakistan if we acceded to this agreement. And that way we were able to convince and we were in a very short time able to accede to all these documents. So I think in the end, everybody was basically, since they were convinced that this is an organization which would be of beneficial to Pakistan, which would be beneficial to Pakistan. Therefore, they were keen as well, and we were successful in bringing them on board.
Mm-hmm. Since then, SCO has made a long journey. And after admitting Pakistan and India, it has invited new members, Iran and Belarus. So it seems like the organization is expanding. Do you see further expansions on the horizon? And do you think it is beneficial for an organization of this stature to expand widely?
Yes, there's a lot of interest globally in SCO. And there are, at this time, at least 13 countries that are dialogue partners of SCO. There are 7 countries who are interested to become observers. Their requests are pending. SCO follows a gradual approach in admitting new members. At this time, after the admission of Iran and Belarus, we only have 2 observer countries left. One is Mongolia and one is Afghanistan. So Mongolia is not interested to become full members because of its own reasons. It was actually the first observer country of SCO, but it has never shown interest. And Afghanistan would also take some time because so far there are issues related to the government and who is in power in Afghanistan. So once that is settled, when there is a recognition of the government in Afghanistan, then can be proceeded further on whether it is accepted as a member or not. I think expansion of SCO would be good for the organization because it would bring a multi interest into this, and also would bring a lot of more diversity. Although SCO still already has a lot of diversity, but if more members come in, they will bring new thoughts, new aspects. But certainly it will take some time because, like I said, SCO has a gradual approach and step-by-step procedure. So first they will have to make new observers from dialogue partner because so far nobody has been made a member directly from a dialogue partner to become a member. So first they have to become observers. At this time there are only 2 observers.
Understood. Okay, so that's very important point that you're making, and that also explains the process of accession. It is also said sometimes that SCO is an organization that is basically dominated by 2 heavyweights, Russia and China. How do you see countries like Pakistan and other countries having a voice in SCO? And what is Pakistan doing to ensure that its voice is heard in SCO?
Well, I partially agree with your assessment that China and Russia are two dominant forces, because they were the ones who mainly were the lead when the SCO was founded. They were in lead at that time, and also being two big and strong countries, they took the lead in many aspects. But ever since Pakistan and India and now Iran and Belarus have become members, I think more diversity has come to the organization. There is certainly a lot of room for every country to assert, because SCO is a consensus-based organization. It's not that, if one country would say that I want to have my way, then they can have it. Even one single country can disagree, but at the same time, if your proposal, if your ideas are strong and are seen to be mutually beneficial, then nobody is going to stop you. And Pakistan has a lot of scope, and we have been contributing very positively since we became members, and this has been appreciated by the founding members also, right from the very first year, because we have always participated at appropriate level in the SCO meetings.
So diversity of an organization also brings its own challenges, especially in decision making. What are the challenges in decision making when there are so many diverse voices in SCO, and how does the organization deal with those challenges and find a consensus around important decisions?
Well, obviously, when everything has to be decided by consensus, sometimes it is difficult to reach a consensus. But then this is the beauty of SCO, that you have to convince, you cannot, force your way into the room. You have to convince people and make them understand your point. And then there's always certain give and take you accommodate other people's point of view in your proposals. And that is how it works very well. But of course, sometimes there is certain difficulties that are faced, and sometimes some very good and well-intended proposals are not able to go through.
How do you see Shanghai Cooperation Organization working to advance regional connectivity and economic integration between countries of the region? You mentioned there is great potential. So what exactly are the SCO initiatives in this regard?
First of all, regarding connectivity, there are already 6 SCO connectivity routes. And Pakistan had proposed in 2018 2 routes to connect with these SCO routes at nodal points in Kashgar and Urumqi. And these routes are basically from Karachi to Kashgar and Urumqi, and from Gwadar to Kashgar and Urumqi. In the working group on connectivity, it was agreed. But subsequently, since India was not present in that working group meeting, they, due to some reason or the other, were absent. They subsequently raised objection to it, and they blocked integration of 2 Pakistani routes with the SCO connectivity routes. Ever since, there has not been any headway on this, and because SCO works on the principle of consensus, we could not so far have our 2 routes connected with SCO. At the same time, we also have many alternate routes. Like we are a member of CAREC, Central Asian Regional Economic Cooperation Forum, and also we are part of SCO connectivity, ECO connectivity routes, which is another organization, regional organization of which we are member, and has a lot of common membership with SCO. For example, all the Central Asian countries are there, Iran is there. Turkey is a dialogue partner in SCO, although not a member. So we have many alternate options available to us. We are also member of International TIR Customs Union and also Asia Transport Network. But at the same time, I believe that it is not right for India to block Pakistan's connectivity routes, integration with SCO, because we had initially, this is an agreement not to bring political contentious issues within SCO. And since this is about connectivity and development and not about the political status of any particular region or area, so I think they should not raise this objection, and hopefully subsequently they would agree to integration of the connectivity routes of Pakistan with SCO.
Okay, so this was all about connectivity. What about economic integration?
Yes, there are a lot of initiatives within SCO in the economic area, and but as I said earlier, SCO is a very special organization, and it has its own pace and methodology. So they make things go gradually further. So there is, for example, there's the Chinese proposal of SCO free trade agreement. There is some progress on it, but still it will take a lot of time because there's a lot of economic and difference in the economic and trade potential of member countries from Central Asia, China, Russia, Pakistan, and even India. And many of these do not have a bilateral FTA with each other. So that is why it is moving at a slow pace. Then there is also negotiations going on, customs union between the SCO member states. Again, there is some progress on it, but still it will take some more time to mature. There is good progress in the area of agriculture, climate change, as well as on social sectors like education, health. Subsequently, although it may take a little time, but once this economic integration is full and complete, the entire region is going to benefit.
So what do you think has this organization, the SCO RATS, brought to Pakistan in terms of sharing of expertise and experience or knowledge sharing?
Well, yes, security cooperation is one of key areas of SCO. But I would like to clarify here that many people think that security cooperation is the main focus of SCO. This is not correct, because SCO has primarily focused on political, security, economic, social, and cultural aspects. These are your broad outline, and under these then there are many sub-sectors that SCO is dealing. And security is one of the major areas of focus on that. There are basically two agreements that are focusing on cooperation in the area of extremism, terrorism, and separatism. One is the agreement on combating terrorism, separatism and extremism. And then another is only focusing on terrorism, and is agreement on combating terrorism. Then there is the agreement on the regional anti-terror structure, which also describes the modalities of the functioning of the Executive Directorate of RATS, as well as how member states can cooperate under its ambit. So this is basically the legal framework that is there. Now, there's also another misunderstandanding about SCO, that people think that it's kind of a military pact like NATO or some other, or erstwhile Warsaw Pact. Actually, SCO is only dealing with non-traditional security threats such as terrorism, extremism, separatism, narcotics, combating narcotics and psychotropic substance trafficking, human trafficking, transnational organized crime, climate change, food security, etc., etc. And similarly, there is also regular joint anti-terror exercises that are conducted by SCO member states. Pakistan has participated in a number of such exercises after becoming member, and we also hosted one exercise in joint anti-terror exercise in Pabi in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province in September-October 2021. Sorry, and similarly, there are also electronic war games, sometimes organized by members. There's a lot of intelligence sharing, and a number of instances of terrorism were averted due to intelligence sharing by the member states. There are also a lot of narcotics were hauled, captured. The smuggling was stalled because of sharing of information among the member states.
This is very encouraging that there is practical cooperation taking place between members of SCO RATS.
And also there's a lot of capacity building that occurs, especially in the electronic surveillance and other areas. These war games that we participated in the past, organized by China and other members.
There is some perception, especially in the media, that SCO is perhaps a anti-Western alliance or a military alliance against the West. How do you see this perception, and what do you think can be done to clarify these misperceptions?
Well, you've rightly said that it's a misperception, not a fact. SCO is not a military pact amongst the member states. It is an organization that deals with non-traditional security threats such as terrorism, extremism, separatism, narcotics control, transnational crime, climate change, food security, and other natural calamities, etc. So it's not like, if a member state of SCO is attacked by a non-member, then the other members would come and defend it, like is the case in NATO or the erstwhile Warsaw Pact. Mm-hmm. So this is a misperception, and SCO has clarified it many times, but still, there are obviously some motivated campaigns that are run against SCO, and SCO has very clearly stated many times, both at the leadership level as well as from the secretariat, that SCO is not intended to be against any country or group of countries or any organization. It is solely for the benefit of its member states and also for the associated countries that are part of it as observer states or as dialogue partners.
We were talking about the journey that Pakistan has undertaken since it became an observer in 2005, and then becoming a member in 2017, and now it is the chair of the heads of government of SCO. That's a long journey. The heads of government meeting will take place in Islamabad in October. So how do you see this journey, and what do you think would be the major outcomes of this heads of government meeting that takes place in Islamabad?
Well, the Council of Heads of Government is the second most important political organ or political body of SCO. And as the name suggests, it is comprising of the prime ministers of the member countries. They primarily, the Council of Heads of Government is tasked with two things. One is the budgetary matters, and second is economic and trade cooperation among the member states. So, first of all, this summit of the heads of government would approve the budget of SCO for 2025. And secondly, there are some economic and trade related initiatives which are under discussion at various forums. And also in September, there will be a meeting of the Ministers of Commerce of SCO in Islamabad. And they would decide on certain initiatives, and those will then be approved by the Council of Heads of Government. The important initiatives that are at discussion at the moment, but I'm not sure whether all of these would go through, or some of them would be pended for future, because it all depends on the consensus reached. So one is the proposal by Pakistan to form a cooperation body between the trade promotion organizations of the member states. Like Pakistan has a Trade Development Authority, TDP, and the cooperation with the counterpart organizations of these trade promotion organizations should be established so that they can jointly organize fairs, seminars, and participate in each other's countries' economic and trade related events, and also have sometimes a joint SCO event organized, and also share best practices and other things. At the same time, there's another proposal to form a database of economic incentives given by different countries. And each country would share that what are the opportunities that are available in their country for economic and trade interaction with other member states. So if all this information is brought at one place under SCO, so it would be easier for the member states to go to their database and see where they could find something of interest in which country. So this is another area that has been identified. Similarly, there are some other initiatives like there's one initiative for forming a joint trade council or something like that.
So basically, it would be a conference where important decisions will be made in terms of economic cooperation and budgeting of Shanghai Cooperation Organization.
Economic and trade cooperation, as well as
economic and trade cooperation and budgetary matters. So that is an important part of or mandate of SCO, and it's important that Pakistan is now hosting the heads of government meeting and will be the chair of the heads of state meeting in maybe a couple of years, and where decisions related to security and future direction of the organization are taken.
Yes, Pakistan's turn to head the Council of Heads of State would be in 26-27.
It would be a great opportunity for Pakistan, and we must prepare for it beforehand to have as many in-person events organized in Pakistan at that time, both in economic, trade, as well as security, and also most importantly, cultural and people-to-people interactions. And I believe that it's not necessary that we should organize very specific events only for SCO. But already we have a number of events and every year in Pakistan. And we can, with the consultation of other member states, declare them as SCO events for that. For example, we have
Lok Mela in Islamabad twice a year. And, we can declare one of these as an SCO event, and where we can invite. At this time, we have delegations and troupes coming from our provinces to participate in this Lok Mela or folk festival, or folk culture festival. So in that, we can invite from other member states also and broaden its scope.
Very interesting. I'm sure our colleagues dealing with SCO will consider your advice very constructively. Ambassador Babar Amin, thank you very much for joining us. This was a very interesting conversation on Shanghai Cooperation Organization, Pakistan's role in the organization, our objectives in joining the organization, and then making sure that Pakistan's interests are safeguarded in this organization. Thank you, and really appreciate that we had this opportunity that you could join us on Diplomacy Today. That concludes our podcast for today with Ambassador Babar Amin on Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This is Diplomacy Today, a podcast series by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I thank you for joining us and see you next time.